Well, it might be a little weird to see me still being around, even though my last review, even though at the end of my last review, I apparently died 3 minutes after posting it. But you see, I was resurrected by an angel of God. And here you guys thought angels had wings. Well, apparently in Graffiti Bridge, you just need to look like a supermodel who somehow got thrown into this movie, and boom, angel. So, for those of you who don't know, Graffiti Bridge is the sequel to Purple Rain in the sense that it does have Prince back as the kid who, but this time Prince directed it and he wrote it. So he had more control over what went into this movie than say Purple Rain, which was written and directed by completely other people, different people. And the plot is that Prince and Morris are fighting over Prince's club and who gets to have the power and control over this rambunctious side of Minneapolis called the Seven Corners. And Aura, the angel, not the angel who well, I guess she was the one who resurrected me to do this review. So anyway, so an angel comes down from heaven to try and convince Prince and Morris Day to lead more virtuous lives. Um this movie is probably one of the biggest bombs of Prince's career. Once again, the soundtrack was great, but unlike Purple Rain, where the movie was a hit, this was not. And there are a lot of things I do find problematic with the movie. The smallest complaint I really can have with the film is that Prince's character, the kid, while he is a little more likable than was in the first movie, he's still the same idiot that he was in the first film. For one thing, he doesn't let his any of his bandmates have a spotlight, and it's like, dude, you almost lost your job when you were like that back in the first movie. So don't you think you would have learned a little bit from then? But then again, to be fair, with the movie, it's a little more lighthearted than Purple Rain was actually. It's a really dark movie. You've got spousal abuse, suicide, PTSD, um, sexism, a dash of homophobia. It's it hasn't aged well. And for this movie, as much as I was liking it at first, it kind of fell apart at the end. And there are some points where Prince's character, the kid, does present some very questionable morals. Case in point, when Aura gets swayed by his rival Morris Day, and Morris decides to get her drunk, take her back to his house so he can have sex with her, you see Prince noticing this because Morris invited Prince to the club. Prince notices what Morris is doing, drives after her on the motorcycle, after Morris and the girl on the motorcycle, and he kidnaps Aura from Morris to save her from being violated. Which, okay, that sounds like a little crazy, but very sweet. But here's what Prince does: he takes her back to his apartment, lays her in bed, thinks about raping her while she's unconscious, but then he's like, nope, not doing it. But then when she starts waking up, he cuddles up next to her and starts kissing her, which is like, you really have no idea how this works, do you, Prince? And I really wish that these movies were better, seeing how this is the third year anniversary of Prince's death, but I'll be honest, I was actually with this movie throughout the first two-thirds of it. I did find it really weird how the movie was supposed to take place in Minneapolis, but it's such an obvious fake looking soundstage where the majority of the film takes place in. And I'm just kind of thinking, I don't see why Prince was a huge name at that point, so I'm not really sure why he couldn't fight his way for learning permits in Minneapolis. But I guess the budget just wasn't that big, so he decided to cut costs somehow. I don't know how that would work, but The point that I started to lose interest in this movie was the point where Morris's band starts vandalizing Prince's club, the Glam Slam, after Prince decides to challenge them to a Battle of the Bands competition. Which this is pretty much like Purple Rain. You got Morris and Prince at each other's throats. They do a Battle of the Bands, and I'm not going to tell you how it happens, but it kind of goes the way you think it would. And I do find it weird that the movie is trying to be spiritual in a way, sort of like kind of like this ooh, heaven, care, poetry. But it just seems like it's giving you the vibe of what that's like. It's giving you an idea of what that sort of stuff is, but it's not really genuine or really gives you a full satisfying taste of spirituality. It just seems kind of weird. It seems like it's trying to do something and yet isn't fully aware of how to accomplish it. Uh, and I do think that Purple Rain, whether you like the movie or not, it was definitely a movie that was more grounded in reality. Where this, the idea of an angel literally coming down from heaven to talk to our main characters, that seems a little ridiculous. Maybe that would have worked better in a song or something, but in a movie that's a sequel to one of the most realistic, gritty films of the '80s, this seemed a little goofy, and the whole movie's really just cartoony. And a lot of it's because Morris Day is once again giving a very over the top performance. He's kind of like the Black Tim Curry in the fact that his acting, whether it's good or bad, it's still likable enough that you kind of laugh and play along with him. But that's not really enough to save the movie. And the music here in this movie, seeing how it's a musical, the music is good, but it's nowhere near as memorable as Purple Rain. And as much as I really don't like that movie, this film made me appreciate the first film more. And that sounds really, really weird for me to say, because if you saw my review of Purple Rain last year, from what I remember, I got pretty angry with that. And this one, I can't really get too angry with it. I can just kind of laugh at how stupid it is. And I am aware that this is probably in bad taste to do around Prince's anniversary of his death, but I'm just giving you guys an honest review. And I went into this movie thinking that it was going to be okay and maybe not that bad, or maybe it'd be a movie I would like and people don't see the beauty in it. But aside from a few colorful sequences and an idea about Prince trying, and aside from Prince being a better person, the music and some of the beautiful imagery in a gritty city, there really is nothing much to offer. So I'm pretty sure if there is a Prince fan that does come across this, please understand. I'm complaining about the movie. Prince is a great musician. I'm not complaining about him. I'm just complaining about the movie. So may he rest in peace, and we shall see what I review this upcoming week. Hopefully, I can post this, and you guys will not try to crucify me for having honest